Welcome to the show they don't want you listening to, the show with all your rights and zero handcuffs. So sit back and stand, grab that chopped cheese while you wait for that 6 bus. Cause let's be real, you know it ain't coming anytime soon. This is the Miranda Project. Welcome to the project. I'm your host, Manny. Happy to be with you. Let's jump right in. We want to thank, first and foremost, our friends over at creditnerd.com. Creditnerd.com is a provider of credit and reporting monitoring service. You can have unlimited access to your credit score and your report and many, many other features. Go to creditnerd.com and take advantage of this this trial for just $1. And to get access to all these things, to be able to monitor your credit, go to creditnerd.com. Understand your credit like a nerd. Check them out. Click on the link on our website, or you can click on the link in our show notes and let Credit Nerd know that the project sent you. Thank you, Credit Nerd. Now, again, let's jump right in. There's probably many of you who have who saw the State of the Union. There's many of you that probably already criticized or probably already heard so many other shows talking about the State of the Union address. And we're going to kind of do a little bit of a, like over the top, where we're not going to like really overly criticize the State of the Union address, even though there's a lot of critical points. There's a lot of things that were there that many of us don't agree with, and many of us are just like, there are a lot of people that agree with it. I mean, well, we're not going to get into that. But one of the things that really, for me, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me. And maybe we'll do it here. We're nobodies. We're like I've said it before in previous episodes, and before I'm sorry, I'm like getting ahead of myself. But before I get there, what I wanted to say was that I wanted to take what happened yesterday in the State of the Union, and I really wanted to kind of just bring it more into a local aspect, because we did have an episode titled Local Matters. If you haven't heard it, go check it out. It talks about the locality. It talks about the fact that, it's important to know what's happening locally. Federally, it's great. Don't get me wrong. It affects you. It affects all of us. But local affects you more because, again, it's local. It's right here. It's right down the neighborhood. It's right down the block. It's right in your kitchen table. So that's what we're going to do with the State of the Union. We're going to kind of talk to how that affects you, your locality, and we kind of going to skim through and put some things together in regards to that. So that's where I wanted to go. But before we get there, what I wanted to do, like I said, I was getting ahead of myself, was something that just didn't sit right with me in the State of the Union. And I think it didn't sit right with a lot of people. As a matter of fact, one congresswoman got up and said something in the middle of the State of the Union address. And she mentioned 13 U.S. soldiers that died in the debacle that was the exit of Afghanistan, our failed exit of Afghanistan. The 13 soldiers that courageously gave their lives on that day at the airport in Kabul. And what we want to do, which was, I feel, I don't know, I don't know if it was done purposely. I'm not going to get into that kind of speculation, please. But, like I said, we're a small fish in a huge pond. We're not huge. I don't think anybody's going to listen to outside of our listeners. And thank you for listening to us. Thank you for taking the time to sit or watch us on Rumble. And we thank you and we love you and we appreciate the fact that you click on us on our show and you give us the love for the hard work that we've put together on this project, on this show. And we hope and continue to be able to bring you more and more content that you enjoy. So what we're going to do is that we're going to do something that I feel wasn't done last night in the State of the Union. And we're going to give these soldiers their due respect, because I think it's the right thing to do. I really do think it's the right thing to do. And we've put the names, the images of these soldiers on our recording. So if you've seen it or you're watching it on Rumble, you can see the images of these brave soldiers. If you are listening to us on our, on Apple on Apple Podcast or Spotify or whatever avenue it is that you're listening to us, I hope that you can go over to Rumble and obviously look at these images as well, and give us a like, or what they call, not a like, they call it a rumble on Rumble, and subscribe. Give us a subscription so that you can get to see the show in what's it called, air on Rumble as well. But what we're going to do is that we're going to acknowledge these brave men and women. We put the images up on the screen, as we said, and we are going to read the names of these brave men and women. Marine Corps Staff Sergeant Darren T. Hoover, 31, of Salt Lake City, Utah. Marine Corporal Sergeant Johanny Rosario Pichardo, 25, of Lawrence, Massachusetts. Marine Corporal Sergeant Nicole L.G., 23, of Sacramento, California. Marine Corps, and I'm saying corps, and I do apologize because I'm giving the wrong titles for the individuals before. So I do apologize. It was... The first one is Staff Sergeant. The second one is Sergeant. The third one is Marine Corps Sergeant Nicole L.G. Marine Corps Corporal Hunter Lopez, 22, of Indio, California. Marine Corps Corporal Dagon W. Page, 23, of Omaha, Nebraska. Marine Corps Corporal Humberto A. Sanchez, 22, of Logansport, Indiana. Marine Corps Lance Corporal David L. Espinoza, 20, of Rio Bravo, Texas. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Jared M. Schmitz, 20, of St. Charles, Missouri. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Riley J. McCullum, 20, of Jackson, Wyoming. Marine Corps Lance Corporal Dylan R. Marola, 20, of Rancho Cucamonga, California. And Marine Corps Lance Corporal Kareem M. Nikui, 20, of Norco, California. We also have Marine Corps Lance Corporal Kareem, I just mentioned that, I'm sorry. Navy Hospitalman Maxton W. Soviak, I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. It wasn't done intentionally. 22, of Berlin Heights, Ohio. And Army Staff Sergeant Ryan C. Noss, 23, of Corriton, Tennessee. These are the brave men and women that gave their lives in Kabul. And I believe they should have been acknowledged. I truly do believe that in the State of the Union, they should have been acknowledged. I mean, unfortunately, the State of the Union is supposed to be not unfortunately, but the State of the Union is supposed to be a positive, a positive thing, I guess, a positive speech or a negative speech. But these men and women gave their lives in a horrendous exit. And I said it before, and we're going to continue saying it, and everybody's saying it. I mean, it's not, there's no, what's it called, good, it just didn't happen. It wasn't good. I'm not going to go and look for a fancy word or term. It just wasn't a good exit. We lost the lives of these 13 men and women. Their images will be up on our screen here. And again, if you want to go and take a look at these men and women, go over to our Rumble account, check them out. And we want to pay them their due respect that we feel here on the project that they should have gotten last night in the State of the Union. And I believe that there were some Congress women that believe that they should have gotten recognition as well. And they did it, and they made their voices heard. They heckled the president as he gave his a State of the Union, and did not mention these fine folk and give their family, I guess, that closure. That I mean, it wasn't enough that you were checking your watch, when their bodies arrived and back into the country. It wasn't enough. I think that you probably could have been, and I'm talking directly to President Biden, even though I know that he's not going to ever listen to the project. But I really do feel that it could have been a lot better. I think that you could have done a lot more justice if you would have acknowledged these men and women, these young men and women, because I think the oldest amongst them was 26, and they gave their lives for the freedoms of the people of Afghanistan. And as we were pulling out in that horrendous pullout of Afghanistan, they gave that ultimate sacrifice. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Really, really, we do thank you for your sacrifice. And here on the project, we are going to acknowledge you, even though the president didn't take the time to do so. So thank you once again. It's just a sad state of affairs. One of the things that I want to talk about, and like I said, is in the local aspect of it, and I just want to give a thanks to those servicemen and women, and I want to thank their families as well. Before we move on to our next segment here, but I definitely want to put their names up there, and we've done it once before, and I think it was time to do it again. It just bad all around. And I don't think that the administration wants to acknowledge the fact that they messed up. And this is why I don't think that they brought it up. But we're going to bring it up on the project. And I know that there's others that will bring it up as well. But with that being said, we just want to move on to the next subject, because in the State of the Union and before the State of the Union, the president mentioned something that kind of caught my attention, and I wanted to talk to it. Because I feel like we're living in two different Americas. I feel that the president doesn't really, he lives in one America, and we here locally, are us poor folk, our regular folk, as my favorite podcaster would say, the smellies, the deplorables, as Hillary Clinton called us once. We live in a different America, and we want to kind of talk to something that kind of caught my attention, but we also want to talk to some of the stuff that happened or transpired within the State of the Union. Again, we're not going to go and divulge fully in, because many of you have already heard it, and you've probably already seen Twitter and Facebook and all the stuff that goes on and all that, but we just want to kind of touch base on a couple of little things that were mentioned in the State of the Union. But before that, we want to thank our friends over at Instacart. Please go over to instacart.com. We have mentioned them before. Instacart.com is the go-to service for quick and effective grocery delivery. You can select groceries from their various retailers, then send out a personal shopper who will do the shopping and deliver the goods, the things that you ordered, right to your door in approximately about an hour. If you need last minute eggs, last minute milk, I've said it before, anything. I even in our last episode, I mentioned the fact that I've been falling in love with paprika, and I ran out and I needed to make an order. I went right onto the Instacart. I ordered my paprika, and it came within the hour, and amongst other things that I had needed to order as well. So go over to instacart.com, click on the link in our show notes or on our website, and let Instacart know that the project sent you. So what we want to do is that we want to show you a small clip of something the president mentioned, and this was not in the State of the Union. This was beforehand in a small little speech, but it's something that caught my attention because it was heading into the State of the Union. I think it was the day before or a few hours before. Don't exactly quote me and exactly when it was or when it took place, because then the fact checkers are going to come after me. Blah blah blah. Whatever. But this was something that, again, it caught my attention. I wanted to bring it to light. And then I want to talk about that, this specifically, because I know it was something that was going to be mentioned in the State of the Union. It's a quick clip, 19 seconds. Let's play it for you.
And the estimate is that we've cut black poverty by over 30%. We reduced child poverty by more than 50% in the black community. The American Rescue Plan also included historic funding that allows cities and states to invest in community violence intervention programs and keep neighborhoods safe.
So, as you see, he basically goes on to say that his administration and his plan is to keep our cities safe. And that's one of the things that hit me. That last statement, that these programs that are set up to keep our cities safe. And then one of the other things that kind of, like, the first thing that he said was that they have lowered black poverty and lowered child poverty. Now, I'm curious as to how they did that, because last I checked, they pumped money that we didn't have into the economy, right? Everybody got a stimulus check, right? I think that's what he's referring to. They printed money that we didn't have. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody got their stimulus check. Everybody was happy with their stimmy, right? People went out and they bought TVs, they bought whatever, they got their stimmies and they were happy. I'm not gonna go and look a gift horse in the mouth and say, oh, listen, I didn't get a stimulus check. I got one. It went to paying a couple of bills. We needed to take care of some bills, and that's exactly what we ended up doing. We paid off some bills with some of that stimulus money. Did we go and have some leisure time on that? Yeah, I think we went out and we got a steak at Texas Roadhouse. So yeah, I think we went and we enjoyed a nice fat ribeye on that stimulus check. So I'm not gonna go and look at it and say, oh, stimulus check was bad. I mean, I got it and I enjoyed it, but mostly it was to pay some bills. But within that, when that money was poured into the economy, money that we didn't have, what ended up happening? And this is why we are where we are today. We're at a 7.5% inflation rate, the highest it's been in 40 years. And we've talked about it on the show before. We've given you some simple explanations about inflation. We've talked about inflation. We've talked about the ramifications of it. We've given you the comparison of stagflation, which is what we're heading. I mean, literally heading right back into. We're going right back into stagflation, and we've even given you, and if you haven't heard any of the shows, go back and listen to it. I can give you a couple of episodes that I would say are good. I mean, the price of chicken is one that we talk about inflation. There's others that what's it called? I love the price of chicken, by the way. We give you a nice little explanation of how inflation kind of works, and I hope we simplify too much money chasing little product, a small amount of product. I hope that we were able to explain that. In that episode, there's also an episode where we compare stagflation to what's going on now, and the title of that episode is "Have We Learned Nothing Yet?" And again, there's other episodes, even I think 2 episodes ago, where we talked to the fact that we're headed right back in the same direction history tends to repeat itself, and I think that's where we're headed. And we talked to that in that particular episode as well. So if we've been talking about it now for some time, hopefully preparing you for the fact that this is where we are. We're in the highest inflation that the country has seen in over 40 years. And he addresses it, and then he talks about, in the State of the Union, he addresses it. He says, yeah, inflation, but we're gonna make more money. We're gonna pump more money into the economy so that can help the American people. I'm sorry. If you already did that before and it didn't work, you're going to do it again, and you feel that it's going to work. Because you feel that in your mind of minds, because you live in a different America, you don't live in the America that we do, right? In the America where you walk up and down the streets of the Bronx and you see some of the things that are going on. You walk up and down the streets of Manhattan and you see what's truly going on. You walk up and down the streets of Brooklyn and you really truly see what's going on. You walk up and down the streets of Chicago, of LA, of Florida, of areas in Florida, in St. Louis, in any inner city location, in any city that is poverty-stricken cities or low-income neighborhoods, and yeah, they got their stimulus check, but you didn't improve anything for these people. You didn't. You've made it worse for them. No, you. According to you, listen, your State of the Union and your speech beforehand, you said that you fixed it and it's fine, and what's it called? We're wrong, and you've improved black poverty and child poverty, and I beg to differ. I beg to differ. What was it? You determined that when you came to New York to speak to Mayor Adams about the fact that there's a rise in crime, a rise in gun violence, and that you're going to put together some plan for some federal funding, again, because we're going to spend more money and we're going to put it back into the economy, and you're going to pump it into something, and you're going to help the city of New York by throwing more money that we don't have into a problem that could easily be fixed by doing something that we were doing many years ago, and you guys decided to say, no, throw it out because it's quote unquote racist. It's racist. It's racist to do broken glass policing. It's racist. It's great. It's racist. And now we're sitting here in the highest crime rate in the city of New York. But no, you fixed it. According to your speech before the State of the Union, you fixed it. There's programs that are going to help. But again, I don't want to get ahead of myself. We're still stuck on the poverty, right? That you helped the poverty of what's it called, the black community, and in turn, when you mean the black community, you also mean the Hispanic community, you mean the Asian community, you mean all low income communities within the country. You mentioned the black community, but I think the buck doesn't stop there. There are Latin American communities that are poor. It just goes from there. And I guess what you meant is by people of color. I'm like addressing this like if I'm speaking directly to President Biden. I know that's not the case, but just want to kind of let's just put it that way. Let's roll with that. Like if I'm having a conversation directly with him. But you fixed it. According to you fixed it. Last I remember, pre-inflation, you can go out and get a gallon of milk, and it was like $2.39. Gallon of milk, $2.39. Have you gone to go see what a gallon of milk looks like today? How much it costs? It's almost $4. Have you gone to the pump? National average shot up. You're looking at $1. It was $1.89 to $2.10 pre Okay, pandemic, we'll throw that in there, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, let's blame it on the pandemic because COVID did everything. COVID killed this, COVID killed that, COVID did that, COVID this, and that's the excuse. COVID. But now you're looking at $3.79 a gallon. How is that helping the poor American who basically might have $20 in their pocket to be able to put in their car that won't last them 3 days to get back and forth from home and work? But you helped. According to you, you helped. You stopped, or you did by your program or your thing or whatever. You helped the poor people of this country. I mean, $20 doesn't go much. It's not even half a tank. And what are we supposed to, And we're talking gas, and when we were talking about in that episode the price of chicken, and the reason why I bring that episode up is because the price of chicken skyrocketed. Go to your grocery store, and I know that we talk about Instacart on the episode or on the show. Go to your grocery store, and you know that the price of chicken has skyrocketed. People going to the grocery store are getting hammered. They're getting slammed. They talk about the kitchen table problems when it comes to politics, right? When you hear politicians talk about kitchen table problems, they mean the problems of your household. They mean the stuff that you sit down with your wife, your husband, your whatever, your significant other, right? Because let's be PC. You sit down with your significant other at the kitchen table and you start dissecting the bills. Oh, we got to pay mortgage. Oh, we got to pay insurance. Oh, we got to pay the electric bill. Oh, no, we got to pay our phones. Oh, we got to pay this. Oh no, we have to separate this for clothes. No, we have to separate this for groceries. We have to separate this for this and this for that. And then by the end of the thing, what do we have left so that we can go maybe and watch a movie? Oh no, honey, we can't. Not this month. We can't go see a movie. Sorry, honey. I'm sorry, no movies, because we needed to put more money towards gas. The grocery expenses are just ridiculous now. We still have to pay our mortgage. We still have to pay our rent. We still have to pay all these other things. I don't know if anybody in New York, you realize that Con Edison hyped up their prices 15%. 15%. They hiked up their prices. And that's where we are. So you have to, you sit down at the kitchen table and you start going through all this stuff and you start dissecting all these things and all the money that's coming in and all the money that's going on. And as hard as it is for that money to come in, it's even easier for it to go out. But that's the kitchen table problems. That's the kitchen table speak. And it's a different America because they don't have that problem. You think Biden has that problem? Let's not even talk about, I'm getting out of myself. I was going to say the big guy, but I'm going to get ahead of myself. But they don't have these problems. We sit down at the kitchen table. My wife and I, we sat down and we started, okay, we need to cut this. We need to cut that. We need to start cutting some corners here. We need to do this. I'll tell you something. My 17-year-old car, my 17-year-old Honda Pilot, we were ready to put her out to pasture this year. We were ready. We were like already budgeting how much it was. It was time to go, and I want myself a pickup truck. I'm ready to, and we were looking at the numbers and crunching them and everything, and we were ready to go and get that pickup truck and all that stuff. And now we can't do that. Now we have to squeeze as much more as we can from that 17-year-old pilot who's got over 250,000 miles on her. But it is what it is. We got to make it happen. We got to make it work. Because in our kitchen table, We have the mortgage that we have to pay. We have this that we have to pay. We got to make sure that the kids are taken care of. We have light that we have to pay. We have this that we have to pay. We went to Costco the other day and we spent $650 in groceries that we normally would pay $400 a month in groceries. We spent $650. And granted, we're not like, oh my God, we're like, we're not penny pinching, but we're penny pinching. Every American right now is penny pinching. So imagine somebody who's poor. Imagine somebody that's making under $25,000 a year. Oh no, but you improved poverty in low income neighborhoods. You did it. Yeah, you did it. By making everything much more expensive, you've done that. You pumped more money that we didn't have into the economy, causing this inflation to be where it is today. And people are struggling every single day to try to put a piece of chicken on the table. But you improved it. You fixed it. Congratulations, Joe Biden. You fixed it. You truly did fix it. And, there'll probably be people, naysayers, that'll tell me, oh, no, you're wrong. He did. And that stimulus check did great and all of that stuff. Like I said, it did its job, right? People went and they spent money and they did and they bought and blah, 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 blah. But it did not do, in the long run, what it was supposed to do, right? It was supposed to help people get through the pandemic. Granted, it even goes all the way back to Trump, because when Trump did it, we didn't agree with it either. Printing money we didn't have to pump into the economy. I know it was helping the American people because of the pandemic, but we didn't have that money to print. But he fixed it. The low income poverty has been fixed, according to President Joe Biden. And on the other part of that speech, because again, he talks about the fact that they've built programs to help with, the crime rate, to make neighborhoods safe, and so on and so forth. I want to talk about that, but before we talk about that, I want to thank our friends over at Belkin. Go over to Belkin. Listen, they have from wireless home networking and entertainment to mobile accessories, energy management, and an extensive range of cables. Man, they have cables and stuff like that you would be shocked and surprised that they have. Belkin products enhance the technology that connects us to the people, activities, and experiences we love. Go over to Belkin.com, check them out, click on the link on our website or in our show notes, and let Belkin know that the project has sent you. Thank you, Belkin, very much. So, one of the things that he mentioned was the fact that they have these programs and they have made our cities safe. I want to quickly touch on this because the crime rate in New York has skyrocketed. It's just bad. It's horrible. Again, we live in two Americas. What America is he living on that he's saying that they've fixed, that they're made cities safer? In our previous episode, we talked about the fact that kids are carrying weapons to school because they're afraid of being, harmed on the way to school. Some carry it because, they have malintent, don't get me wrong, but some carry it to defend themselves. Right? So, I don't understand that how he feels that it's been fixed. I don't get it. I'm at a loss for words for that. How is it? How do you feel? How? Where? How? I don't. It's just me complaining, me ranting, right? You're out of your mind. You don't know what you're talking about. kids carrying weapons to school. It happens all the time. Yeah, it does. It does. It's not a uncommon phenomenon. But for those good kids that are afraid that they're gonna get hurt, that something's gonna happen to them on their way to school or in school, that's not making our neighborhood safe. That's not making low-income neighborhoods safe. That's the complete and total opposite. But you know what? Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example of what I mean, because you know, the president says that we are he's made things safer in these neighborhoods with his policy. So I just want to give you an example. I want to show you these headlines from the New York Post, and you tell me what you think. Man shot while riding subway in Brooklyn. No, let's see. Creep follows woman home, sexually assaults her in NYC. Interesting. I'm sorry. Asian woman beaten with rock in NYC dies 3 months after attack. Officials says. And you can see this is all from the New York Post. I'm purposely covering my face here as we, show these articles, because they we've made things safe. 4 stabbed during brawl at Brooklyn subway stop. Oh, this one happened yesterday. Poop attack perp told cop Again, this is a family-friendly show. Let's just say it starts with an S and it ends with a T. Happens before being released without bail. Oh, because, we have to release these people out without bail. They commit a crime, and this just to allude what ended up happening, for those of you that don't know what ended up happening, this woman was sitting on a train platform in the Bronx and waiting for the train. This man walks up to her, rubs his feces in her face. He was arrested for obviously doing this, and he was then released without bail, because that's how things happen now. These people commit crimes and then they are released without bail. Mom of teen shot outside NYC school decries crime surge as dramatic footage unveiled. And again, this is footage that was fine. You can find it on the NewYorkPost.com. And again, mom of teen shot outside NYC. Wait, didn't we talk about the fact that these kids are walking around now afraid to go to school because of the fact that they have to deal with this, that they're afraid of, they're walking around with weapons now, that they're afraid. Didn't we talk about that? Oh, no. You didn't mention that. That was wrong. You were wrong. We mentioned it last episode, but the city streets are safe. There's programs. They've pumped money into these programs that's making these streets safe for the kids to be able to go to school safely, right? Tell that to this mother. Tell that to that mother who lost her child, or I didn't read the article fully. I don't want to assume, and I'm sorry I didn't fully read the article, but her child was shot outside of a New York City public school. So I don't know how the city streets are safer. I don't know how your plan has made things safer. I don't follow. And I know this is not truly, what you talked about in your State of the Union, because we know that your State of the Union was going to talk about Russia, and your State of the Union was going to be about how you have a plan to inject more money into the economy to help fix inflation, which in turn is going to make inflation worse because, you're gonna print more money we don't have to put into the economy, and you're gonna and you feel that that's gonna help and that's gonna get rid of inflation, even though we know that the Fed is going to have to raise interest rates, which, by the way, is going to affect the low-income neighborhoods a lot more than it would affect the people that you were seeing schmoozing with towards the end of your speech. You know, the big wigs, the ones that make all the money, the ones that you say don't pay their fair share. Because again, you talked about it. Companies don't pay their fair share. They don't. These rich people don't pay their fair share. Even though we know that they pay the majority of the taxes. But again, you know, for those that don't know, you know, the president will come out and tell you that the rich people don't pay their fair share and they should pay their fair share and so on and so forth. And talk to Elon Musk. Somebody go and ask Elon Musk. As a matter of fact, you don't even have to ask him. Go onto his Twitter feed. Go onto his Twitter feed, and I think we highlighted it on a previous episode where he trolled Senator Warren because she trolled him, and he shot back and told her, oh, because she goes, oh, that you're rich, this, and you don't pay your taxes, you don't pay your fair share, and you know, Elon Musk shot back and said, I paid $16 billion in taxes. That's a lot of money, man. In taxes. That's a lot of money. But you know what? The funny thing about it is that he said, it doesn't matter that I paid it because you guys already spent it. See, there's no problem in taxing here in the country. There's a problem with spending. They're spending this money before they get it. This money doesn't exist and they've already spent it. I mean, our national deficit is over $30 trillion, for crying out loud. So is that helping the aforementioned low income or black communities like you wanted to highlight? It's not. It's not. It's making it harder. That kitchen table talk that you are so worried about, that you feel that you are in control of, that you know rather that what they're talking about, that you are in that kitchen table and you're helping that American family decipher that kitchen table talk, you're absolutely wrong. You're not there because you live in another America. You live in another America. Not in the America where we have to scrounge and rub 2 pennies together in order to get through every single month. We just got out of February by the skin of our teeth. And now we're moving on to March and the whole cycle begins again. So in your State of the Union, you spoke about that. You spoke about the fact that you're going to pump more money. You spoke about the fact that this plan is, and infrastructure and all of these things that are going to pump more money that we don't have into the economy, that's going to make it worse for the poor people in this country. But keep selling that you're helping. Keep selling. Keep selling. Keep selling it. Because there are people that are buying it 100% on. And I truly hope that, you know, here on the project, there are people that are listening that, you know, either can educate someone else or at least for some reason can tell them, hey, listen, go do your research. You don't have to listen to the project, but just go do the research on your own. Go find out on your own. So, you know, that's where we were when it comes to the State of the Union. And obviously we want to address the elephant in the room, the elephant that's been in the room now for, a few days. But we wanted to address, obviously, the local stuff because, I mean, the local stuff matters, man. This stuff matters. It hurts you to go to the grocery store. It hurts you to go to the gas pump. It hurts when you see that electric bill come in. It hurts you when you know that you have to pay that rent. It hurts you when you know that the inflation is at 7.5% and you just got a quote unquote 3% raise at work. That puts you 4.5% in the negative, right? I'm no mathematician. I'm just kind of putting it out there, right? That's where that kind of puts you, right? In some way, shape, or form. I got to go and talk to my statistician. Well, she's not my statistician, but I know a statistician. She'll probably tell me better. But anyways, I want to transition real quick into something that, again, like I said, the elephant in the room. But before we do that, we want to thank our friends over at geekbuying.com. Go over to geekbuying.com. They were founded back in 2012 with the mission of creating a platform that truly puts you first. Since their inception, they have become the leading e-commerce platform selling a wide range of consumer electronic gadgets. Go over to geekbuying.com. Check out their website. They have some awesome things there. For the geek in your life, they will love you. They will love you for all the stuff that you can get over at geekbuying.com. Check them out. Again, go to geekbuying.com, click on the link on our show notes or in our website, and let them know that we sent you. Now, real quick, when it comes to the elephant in the room, when it comes to the what's going on in Ukraine, we gave you our play, our kind of opinion on it at the beginning of the week, I believe. I get my fingers crossed. My fingers crossed here. The show's crossed. In the episode titled Power Play, we talked about the fact that this is a power play. Now, we do truly believe it is a power play. But we spoke about, in our last episode, we spoke about the fact that something doesn't smell right. And we want to continue to keep that up. There's just something that just doesn't fit. There's a missing Lego piece or something, right? There's a missing piece here. And we just want to talk to the fact that something is not right, something is missing. And, we just want to keep you to light of that. We will kind of keep digging. We will kind of keep doing our own research. We don't want to go and keep talking to it and giving all this, because there's a lot of stuff going on. Again, social media, you can go into social media, you can see a bunch of stuff that are going on, TikTok and Facebook and Twitter. And there's a lot of stuff going on, but behind the scenes, there's just something's not right. Something doesn't smell right. As a matter of fact, I was talking to my producer yesterday, I believe, and I was telling him, why is it that Hillary Clinton, of all people, is talking about Ukraine? Why is it that she is finally opening her mouth? She's been quiet for all this time, and now she's talking about Ukraine, and she's deflecting about Ukraine and putting the blame on Donald Trump, which, again, we did say that this was going to be the direction they were going to go into, that they were going to go and say, Trump did it, this is Trump's fault, blah, 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 and get ready for that because it's coming. Whether you believe it or not, that's up to you. There's a lot of people that have already been saying that, yeah, that's the case, that Trump did this. Okay. But Miss Hillary Clinton, hidden emails, destroyed emails, Hillary Clinton, the wife of the former president that was going to get $500,000 from Russia to go do a speech in Russia, that Hillary Clinton is talking about Ukraine. Everybody's entitled to talk about it. But it's just a lot of money that was pumped into Ukraine by politicians, a lot of stuff that we don't know about, and something just doesn't sit right with me, doesn't sit right with the team, and that's why we kind of keep kind of poking that bear and seeing if we can give you some good information, hopefully, here on the project. But what we do want to mention before we close out the show, what we do want to mention is that in the State of the Union, the president said that they weren't ready for it, or they were ready for this whole thing with Ukraine, with Russia and all that. But you know what? On the flip side, They knew that this was coming. They didn't prepare for this. They could have prevented this. Let's just say that if we didn't go green, and we spoke about this before, if we didn't cancel the Keystone Pipeline, if we didn't decide not to stop drilling, if we did not, if we had not decided to stop drilling, if we were energy sufficient in this country, if we were producing oil and not going outside, not going to Russia themselves, again, something doesn't smell right, going to Russia ourselves to be able to buy oil, then we could have put a stranglehold on Russia for doing what they did, and we would have been able to stop this war even before it started. But no, we've decided to go green. And according to the White House, this is teaching us a lesson that we need to stop dependency on foreign oil, and we need to be more green. Rather than the message that should be is that we need to be energy sufficient. We need to be independent. We need to be able to get and produce our own energy rather than going out to foreign countries and getting our oil or our energy from these foreign countries. That's what should be the lesson. That's what should be coming out of the White House. That's not what's coming out of the White House. What's coming out of the White House is that we need to go more green. Even though countries in Europe are saying, we were thinking about going green, but we're gonna kind of hold off on that. We're gonna start thinking about how we start getting our own energy. Like, how do we go about it? Maybe should we? But no, not the United States. We're gonna double down. We're going to double down, and we're going to say, no, we need to get more dependent on other countries when we have the reserves here, when we have the ability to be sufficient here, and we would have been able to put a stranglehold on Russia and stop this war before it started. But again, I don't know nothing. I'm just a guy on one end of this microphone, on the other end of that camera, and I'm just speaking because I don't know nothing. I just have an opinion that nobody's going to listen to, or not nobody, but, our listeners will definitely listen to. And I thank them for that again. But this is where we are. That's why this doesn't smell right. Something stinks to high heaven. But anyways, thank you once again for joining us on the project. Check us out on our website, themirandaproject.com. Before we go, I want to leave you with some notes from some people that we found on Twitter about the State of the Union. What's it called? This one right here from Ben Shapiro. Trash fire of a president giving a trash fire State of the Union because under him, the state of our union is a trash fire. The other, and there's another one here. Amy Tarkanian, and this was a gaffe of President Biden's State of the Union. Putin may circle Kiev with tanks, but he'll never gain the hearts and souls of the Iranian people. Joe Biden. Okay, that's something. Let's chalk it up to a gaffe. The following: Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. And that's our vice president, ladies and gentlemen. That's VP Kamala Harris. These are the top two leaders in the U.S. Interesting. And then this one. President Biden has brought back the economy, vaccinated the nation, expanded our infrastructure, is in the process of saving us from World War III, and may take down Vladimir Putin. That alone puts Biden on Mount Rushmore. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't condone the usage of drugs. I do not smoke drugs. I don't do nothing. But what the heck are these people smoking? What are they smoking? I mean, are they serious? I don't know. Maybe that's that should have been the blunder of the week, but it's Wednesday. I don't know. I really don't know. Thank you once again for joining us on the project. Once again, check us out on our website. And as we always say, if you're into politics, or if you're not into politics, just remember, politics is into you. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.